Welcome back to the channel. My name is Thomas Fletcher and I'm the host of the LCSW network. If you're new to the channel, please do me a favor by smashing that like button, by subscribing to the channel, and by sharing this video with your social work colleagues and friends. The purpose of this channel is to create a community of hope and support where social workers can come for relevant news, information, and inspiration. Well, welcome back to Self-Care Saturday. Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 30 of our Self-Care Saturday series. So we are continuing to cover excerpts from my book, Self-Care Tips for Social Workers and Other Licensed Mental Health Professionals, now available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback formats. So in today's show, we will be reviewing an excerpt from Chapter 24. Reconnecting with your purpose. So in this chapter, we will be discussing a very important topic, reconnecting with our purpose. I think that reconnecting with our purpose is a very important topic because timing is an important aspect of context. At the time that I am filming this video, we have just passed 1 year into the global pandemic called coronavirus or COVID-19. And again, I've shared this in many previous videos and chapters, that this pandemic has created a huge demand for our mental health services as LCSWs, psychologists, psychiatrists, LMFTs, and mental health counselors. This has meant that many of us have gone beyond the typical 40-hour work week. Many of us are working 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, and even 80 hours a week. While we are meeting a much needed demand by the public, that also puts a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on us. And that's also increasing our risk for burnout, compassion fatigue, secondary traumatic stress. As a licensed clinical social worker, I am a huge advocate for LCSW, psychologists, psychiatrists, LMFTs, and other mental health clinicians to protect our own mental health by being strong practitioners of self-care. That's why I created this series on YouTube. That's why I created this 2021 Wellness Challenge series and this book, where we are adding a new self-care practice every week. So again, I strongly believe that reconnecting with our purpose is so crucial because many of us are struggling with burnout, compassion fatigue, secondary traumatic stress, and we have to deal with that. That's why I think that one of the self-care practices that we all need, myself included, is to reconnect with our purpose. And this can actually take us into spirituality, not necessarily religion. So spirituality in the sense that we need to re-examine for ourselves why we are in the field that we are in, whether we are licensed clinical social workers, psychologists, psychiatrists, etc. What area of expertise are we contributing towards the greater good of society? Whether we work in agencies that protect the elderly, like Adult Protective Services, whether we work with veterans, like the Department of Veterans Affairs, whether we work in educational institutions with children and teens as school social workers, whether we work in correctional institutions with justice-involved inmates as forensic social workers. It's very important that we all take time to reflect on why we are in the fields and specialties that we are in and what we can do to make a positive impact. I think that's very important. After doing some serious reflection, we may come to the conclusion that the field that we are working in, due to the overwhelming needs and demands, that we may have to make a strategic decision to reevaluate that particular career endeavor. It may mean that we go from providing direct clinical practices to teaching, to being instructors either as an adjunct faculty or whether we decide to make the full plunge into full-time academia. After reflecting and reconnecting to our purpose, we may decide to go from public service to private practice. Or conversely, we may decide to go from private practice into public service. For those of us that are still passionate about our work, we may decide that the grass isn't greener in another subspecialty or with another client population, and we're not going anywhere. So I think that it's very important that we all take a look at reconnecting with our purpose. What keeps driving us, whether we're social workers, psychologists, LMFTs, etc.? What is that purpose that still lights your fire? Of course, it's also important to stay connected to the non-occupational people, such as our family and friends. Places such as going to the park or going on vacation or going to your favorite restaurant. Or things such as hobbies, leisure activities, visual arts, etc. That also give our lives purpose and meaning. I think that's so important, especially now. Again, when I wrote this, when I made the original video, it was 2021, but this still pertains in 2022. Again, in 2022, many of us are struggling with burnout, compassion fatigue, secondary traumatic stress, whether we will openly admit that or not. All right, so that is an excerpt from chapter 24 of my book, Reconnecting with Your Purpose. So yeah, I think it's really important that we all take time to do this from time to time. I made my case in the original video that I will post at the end of this video. So I made that case in that video and in the book that the video is based on. So I'm going to stop right here, but I want to thank you all for watching this video. To all the social workers and other licensed mental health professionals, thank you for the work that you do every day, for your clients, for your agency, and for the profession. Please continue to support each other and yourselves. Bye for now.